Hello again. This is for the new moon reading on Friday, 16th October at 7:31 p.m. GMT time. Now, I wanted to give you a few pointers for the new moon. I have my notes here, but I also wanted to say, yesterday I tried to start this video. I was recording. I had cut the cards, I had shuffled them all before, cut the cards, put them all ready to go, and I even had laid out the first line. And then, as I was going into the pointers of the new moon, it dawned on me, oh my God, okay, this is totally related to the planets, how they are now, to that new moon, and to that Mars retrograde in Aries. So I'll explain that later to you when we go to the cards. But for now, just give me a few pointers on this new moon so you can also do your new moon wishes. As you know, new moons are very good for new beginnings, for writing down those goals, those desires, those wishes that you, and the dreams that you are having. And the new moon is in Libra. Libra is the sign that wants harmony, it wants diplomacy, it wants to come together, union, it wants fairness, justice. Those are the things that you can write your new moon wishes on. You can also write them for general stuff. In your body, Libra rules your kidneys and your adrenals. Adrenals is for the stress hormones, and well, I think loads of people have stress nowadays, not only with the COVID-19, but also with the whole new situation of change that is going on, the chaos that is there, the world chaos that is there as well. So have a look into that. Now, about this new moon, I'm going to tell you a few things about the new moon and why it's so important. This new moon is a supermoon, and it feels like the culmination of the whole energy of 2020. So the energy of change, of chaos, of loads of stress, anger, aggressiveness, divisiveness. I'm talking globally, maybe you have experienced it in your own small world, yes, but I'm talking more on a global level here. And on top of that, that new moon is in a position to Mars that is still retrograde in Aries. And Mars retrograde in Aries can be very aggressive. It can also slow things down, things that you want to push, but it's holding you back. But that can cause frustration, anger, and we're seeing that globally as well, frustration, anger. So that's not going to go away until half of November. And then we have a Mercury retrograde going on. It started on Tuesday, the 13th of October. And it's going to go on until November the 3rd, which is the day of the US elections. And you can count on it that it's going to be really an unpredictable period. It's going to be a period where there's a lot of nastiness, aggressiveness as well, communication problems, technology problems. Also because there is an opposition going on between Mercury and Uranus a few times. And Uranus is the planet of change, of chaos, because change always is preceded by chaos, by foundations being ripped away, by the old stuff being burned away, as it were, to make room for new stuff. You have to do that to get to the new. And that will also affect this Mercury retrograde. Now, why am I saying this and why I'm making such a deal out of this? Because it's reflected in the cards, these aspects. And I'm going to keep it short, so this is what it is. And I'll move to the cards now, and then we do the reading. So here are the cards that I pulled, and I was very excited as well because after I stopped recording, these arrived, and so I'll pull them. I'll pull one of them at the end because they're more like oracle messages. Anyway, so that new moon. What really caught my eye was these two at the end of the reading. So you have here the Queen of Pentacles, and here you have the Emperor. In this deck, it's called the Lord. This is the Druidcraft Tarot. The Queen of Pentacles for me is representative of that moon. Moon connected to the intuition, connected to water, connected to emotions, though it is a pentacle queen. So a pentacle queen is an earth element. It's much more grounded than the emotions. But look at this queen, she's holding on to this pentacle very tenderly. So she's trying to bring the harmony, as it were. She's trying to bring that people together. That's what she wants. She wants more peace, more harmony. And here we have this Aries card. The Emperor is a very Aries card. Look at the horns here. But, and here is an Aries, really. But I see this king as that Aries, that Mars in Aries retrograde. So that aggressiveness, that impulsiveness, that things that want to move fast, but it really can't happen because it's retrograde. And you see, these are in opposition, like on both ends, just as the new moon is falling in Libra. And then I saw these cards, these three, that are very close together, especially these two. And these are swords. This is the Light Seer Tarot. And in the Light Seer Tarot, the swords are represented by the crows. And I find that these three cards are very representative of the Mercury retrograde. So look at this. The Five of Swords, worries, but also, you know, here is this person that is going away like victorious, and here is the person that worries. So there's also a division here. And I think these are the thoughts that people are having and the thoughts that are being communicated. But because of the Mercury retrograde, it can land completely badly. So there we have it. There we have the problems in communication. You know, people will misunderstand you. You will try to say something, but you're not getting the words out in a right, kind way. That's possible as well. More here, we have the Seven of Swords. This person is like hunting, but he's also very careful, like he's protecting, very protective of, you know, what is happening, of the thoughts that he's having, of the, not only the thoughts, but the things that he's having. So he's very protective. He's under the moon, the new moon maybe. So these two cards for me are the Mercury retrograde, where there's complications, where, you know, the anger and the energy is very unpredictable. So you need to protect yourself. This is what this card says. Protect yourself when, you know, when you're in this situation of you don't know what's going on. I find this here, this card. I don't know what's going on. And that's okay, because that's, you know, that's opposition with Uranus. That's happening a few times. And when there's change, you don't know. The Ten of Swords in the Rider-Waite is a heavy card. It's a card with a person lying with all the swords sticking in his back, but there is a new dawn. And so I feel that this is moving on more towards the end of the month, when we will have a full moon in Taurus, the second moon of this month. And it will be in Taurus, where Taurus is a more grounding force, and it's more earthy, and it's going to bring a little bit more people down and stable, because then we're also moving towards the end of the Mars retrograde and the end of the Mercury retrograde. So I feel that this is the progression here, that these two to belong together. This is also still the Mercury retrograde going on, but becoming maybe less heavy on you. And I feel that this is also a very manifesting card, because it's, you see, seeds have been planted, and now the little things are sprouting. And I think this is also more connected to what is going to come after that new moon. So now it's time to plant those seeds for harmony, for you know, peace, for people coming together, for you know, you having more fairness in your life. Maybe you can plant these seeds now, because they will be growing, but it will take a bit of time here. And I find that this card is here on these two. It says that it's with things with your heart. I think it's very important that we now, in a global way, start being more gentle, kind, and have more love for each other. That's probably this card. And you have this choice between aggressiveness and kindness and love. And then when you plant things with love, a plant, you know, when you do the seeds and you plant them with love, this plant will grow and will be protected as well, but it will grow beautifully, and you'll see the results of your kindness, of your love. So let's see what other cards are coming up. So I'm going to use the Rider Waite and the After Tarot for this on the 5 middle cards. So let's see what jumps here. Sometimes they jump, sometimes they don't. This one's jumping. Okay. Coming together, harmony, almost the world, you know, divided, coming together here. King of Cups. King of Cups, master your emotions, hold that anger in. You know, it's time for that. Whoa, okay. These jumped all, so I'm going to take this one on top. And then a last one from here. Okay. Okay. So I didn't pull them for the first ones. Did I do that? Okay, it doesn't matter. So for that, ooh, okay. The Moon card has been coming up a lot in my readings, and another King of Cups together. Okay, that's it for these. And I'll draw, this is the first time I'm going to draw one of these, which is the Tao Oracle cards, and they are connected to the I Ching. Okay, and let's pull another card on the ones at the end. For the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, 5 of Cups. And here 8 of Swords. Okay. And then at the end I will pull from my new deck, which I'm very excited about. Anyway, so the Queen of Pentacles with the 5 of Cups. That feels leaving stuff behind. Leaving these bad emotions behind. It's almost as if this is saying with the new moon, it's time to leave the bad stuff behind, and we're now moving in that direction. We're not there yet, but we're starting to move in that direction. But it will be hard here because of this Mars retrograde, because of the Mercury retrograde. And the 8 of Swords says that it will be hard, it will take a while, because we feel still very trapped in this strange energy, in this energy that makes us worry, that makes us feel like we're caught and we can't go anywhere. But the blindfold is there and we don't know what's going on, but we're not tied completely, so we can move on. And we'll see that here. I mean, here these two cards saying move on, and this card is very interesting in that respect as well. But this 8 of Swords is saying leaving this behind, and this new moon and the wishes that we make in the new moon, it will take a while because these energies are so heavy and so present. So on this 5 of Swords, the one that, you know, where you worry and where you feel it's all very hard, and communicating is hard, and being misunderstood is happening. Maybe it's time to, maybe it's a good moment to be a little bit like the Fool, to withdraw in yourself and say, okay, with the Uranus aspect of the Mercury retrograde going on, this is a new cycle that's going to begin. And we have to also be a little bit like the Fool and not give too much attention to all the worries, to all the things that are going on, while we have to be attentive, of course. But in yourself, it feels like you need to protect yourself. And that's connected with this protection. Protect yourself from these bad energies, and do that by be a little bit more carefree. I feel that this card is also the card that is about almost, it feels like this is representing Uranus in Taurus. And it's more going towards that full moon, which is going to be in Taurus and which is going to be completely conjunct with the Uranus in Taurus. And Uranus in Taurus is often about money. And it feels like we need to spend money, we need to give money to people who need it, and we help them, but it also feels like there's something new, like a new economy emerging. And that's what they've been saying about Uranus in Taurus, and that's going to last until, is it 2024, 2026? I would have to double check that. So the moon here, it does indicate that everything at the moment is very uncertain. It's sort of that unpredictability of the Mercury retrograde, and that makes you feel a little bit unsure. It makes you feel stressed. There is a lot of emotions going on, water here, water there. But it's time to think about what you do want for you and for this world. What do you want in your life and for this whole world? It's really time to have a look at that. That's, I feel, the new moon, the moon card is saying, plus it's representing the moon. Here on that 10 of Swords, where I found that we were moving more towards the full moon and more towards the fact that, okay, now it's hard, but when it's hard, after all the chaos, all the aggressiveness, all the divisiveness, there will be a new dawn. Something new is coming, but this is still here. We're not there yet. We're not at the other side of this little hill here where the sun is shining, where we're still in the midst of this. And I feel that after that, it feels that we're working to come together, that we want almost, if it's the moon in Libra, it feels like we, instead of being divided between the two, it's coming together as a world. And that's this card about, and it's very important, because if we do that, we can create a new dawn. And we have to do that with, by mastering all these emotions, by by holding them, and by being more emotional, maybe by holding in the anger, but spreading more joy and kindness here, because this is a kind king. It's the King of Cups, emotions. This king is kind, though he's holding the cups in his hand. He knows how to deal with his emotions, and maybe if we all are a little bit more tolerant, that could help. But as you see, there's still some work to do, and after the work is done, we will be exhausted. But there is still a ways to go, and that card also says that. And this is funny that in this, where I said, if you plant seeds now with kindness, with love, plants will grow, and that will lead to celebration. That will lead also to people coming together, to more unity again. Here, Ace of Cups, new emotional beginning. It feels like at the end of all this, at the end of, I feel more the end of 2020 in general, and going into 2021. This is going to be a new beginning, but it's already brewing here. This energy is there. This new moon is preparing for the new emotional beginning, as it were. And we have another King of Cups immediately here. So yes, new emotional beginning, and being more in control of your emotions, and letting go of that old hatred and keeping the love and the kindness. Keeping the love and the kindness. So the protection. If you protect yourself, you can protect whatever is important for you. The cups here, I think here instead of your emotions, it could be also your values, the things you find important to family. And that will make it, you know, if you protect yourself energetically, it's going to be more easy to handle all this stuff here. And then you feel, you know, the cups are standing around you and you're in the meanwhile eating. It's also a bit connected to this Fool where it says, be a little bit more carefree and, you know, don't let these harsh emotions and that aggressiveness go into your heart. Protect yourself. Protect yourself here from that. And why didn't I pull here? Anyway, I didn't pull here. Doesn't matter. That means that the cards wanted to come out like this. Sometimes that happens. King of Swords here. So protecting yourself, protecting what you value, protecting your emotions, protecting your heart, as it were. And that you have to do a little bit, maybe in a rational way, because here, and it's also this bird. I think it's a falcon. It means spiritual protection. So it's protecting you spiritually, protecting that energy. The sword is standing in front of the king as sort of a shield. Instead of a shield, it's a sword. There's another crown here. He has a crown on his head. He's a crown here. So it's very, okay, we're going to do this. I'm going to be a bit cool and collected about this. And I'm going to be a little bit more cold about this. And then we have here the card of Judgment, which is a rebirth card. Death and rebirth as well. Death, rebirth, higher calling. I think this, I mean, I'm not saying it's going to happen like this, but it's what the energy wants. The energy is calling for more kindness and more love. And if we do that, if we listen to that energy that wants us to learn, that wants us to do a rebirth, to start that new cycle, but with our emotions here in check, then we can have a new beginning here. And we're already on the way to do that. And it will all depend on how we act as humans, isn't it? That's why I'm going to get the booklet for it, so we have a little better understanding. It's the 10. The hexagram is number 10. It's called, it's really behavior. And it says self-worth, self-consciousness, be careful and be kind. Fijngevoelig, kind. And that, you know, connected immediately to here, to this Lover's card, you can choose your behavior. You can choose to, you know, be more conscious of how you say things and how you behave in the world. And you can be more conscious about not being too aggressive. It's time to be careful in this Mercury retrograde. I think for the until end of November, you know, be kind, be loving, and be careful. Be very conscious of what you're doing, but also know your self-worth. Know your self-worth. Know your self-worth, and do that by being a little bit carefree as well. So that is that for here. And I was going to pull, they want me to pull a few more cards for here because I didn't do it. So yeah, let's do it. We do it with the Rider-Waite Tarot. Just one more card for each. Here, these two. Okay, ooh. Everything is jumping. This was the first one that jumped. The World. Oh, and that is interesting because we have another one. We have, oh, okay. We have another here. 10 of Swords, 10 of Swords. See what I mean with the difference in the cards? This is a bit more sinister than that. But it's still something we will have to do. We will have to, as we move on, we will get hurt still. this is the cycle of not being hurt is not there, you know, because we're still here, we're still feeling trapped. So there will be things that are really going to hurt us, or going to surprise us, like, phew, my God, is this going to happen like that? But there's a new dawn. And here, on top of this protection, I feel that this world is more also about protection, about protecting yourself and your world, also by protecting your inner world. So guarding those thoughts and not being aggressive here, connected with this card. And then for the end, this is going to be a short reading. I don't know why, but it was short, but very succinct and to the point regarding the moon. So I'm going to pull a card of this one. This is it's the Spirit Animal Oracle by Colleen Baron Reed. It's beautifully illustrated. I had a look yesterday and I was enchanted by it. So I will have to use the booklet because it's the first time I use them. And let's see what comes out. Okay, here. Okay, I have two that wanted to come out, and that's maybe because they're still a bit glued together, but... Ooh. So we have the Dolphin Spirit and the Chameleon Spirit. And I'm going to read this and I'm going to tell you what I feel immediately when I see this. Dolphin Spirit. It says this and that are true. But I feel that this Dolphin Spirit is a bit like this Fool. Where is he? Here. You know, a bit carefree, jump in the water, enjoy anyway, because this is still going to last. And we have the Chameleon Spirit, which says act as if. So act as if you are the dolphin, and you have to, for the moment, it's important that we already act as if we're dealing, you know, we're further along, as, you know, we're doing the kind thing, we're doing the love thing, we're actually incorporating that. And we can do, while we wait until all this energy is going on, we have the choice to do that. We can already act as if all this energy is gone and as if this is already starting. Yeah, all these. But let me read anyway. So Dolphin Spirit is 20. Sorry for this, but... So Dolphin Spirit, like her early manifestation, is a reminder of duality. As the dolphin is both mammal and a sea creature, so too is Dolphin Spirit both this and that. Two truths coexist, a story you tell and another one as well. The duality of life is present when we are suffering, for there is a blessing too in the helpers that appear. Within clouds are silver linings. When we later reflect to what happened, we can see that the situation was both this and that, and a choice led to both, so a choice here led to both joy and sorrow, to both joy and sorrow, to hear this rebirth, but also sorrow, because we have, you know, there's change going on. So as a protection message, when you most want to be acknowledged as right and see the other ways as wrong, Dolphin Spirit appears as a reminder that the story of your suffering and righteousness is a little more complicated than you're admitting right now. It's not as black and white. So the kindness is, they're calling for kindness, because your story in your head, your thoughts in your head, and we're having thoughts here, these thoughts where you protect yourself. Yes, you have to protect yourself, but you can also have to see that other people's stories in their head are also valid and also have the right to exist. And that's why you need this kindness here. You need to deal with stuff with love. And as this Knight of Wands, as this King of Cups, as this card says, you know, you behave, you can choose to be aggressive or you can choose to be kind. And the Chameleon Spirit, what it says here. So the chameleons can change, so you can adapt. And I think the chameleon, in a way, is a Uranus card as well, you know, change. And before the change, there's chaos. And then you have to sort of adapt yourself. And you can do that by acting as if. You see? The Chameleon Spirit shares her gift with you today to prepare you for changes that will greatly benefit you. So, Uranus almost card. So there is change going on. The outer conditions, yes, the world has been changing. We know that COVID-19 has made that, has started that change. And, you know, even though we are not listening because we don't want to wear the mask, we don't want to social distance. And so the numbers are climbing and climbing again everywhere because we think we can go back to to the world how it was before, but it's not going to happen. The world is changing and we have to adapt to those changes. So the protection message here is being sensitive and having empathy for others can become a heavy burden if you don't practice self-care. So here as well, be careful. So protect yourself as well. There's a bit of asking you to protect yourself from this here. Because if you don't protect yourself, you're going to be really hurt. And I think this protection yourself with not caring, you know, it's not as if you not care for the world, but it's a little bit more, okay, I'm going to withdraw a bit. I'm going to practice self-care. I'm going to be a little bit like the fool. And I'm going to see, you know, because you're here, I'm going to see what happens. And that doesn't mean you don't actively can't do things, because you can. But you have to be careful of your own energy. It says here, you need to distinguish your own color from the rest of the world right now and take time out to soothe your sensitive soul. So yes, take a bit of time out here. Be that fool. And here, be careful. Be, you know, also the self-conscious, self-worth, because you're worthy of surviving this, and you will survive this. But we all are in a little bit in this situation now. And some people will feel that more than others. But I think that everybody knows that we are in the midst of big change. And even though we resist it, it's going to happen. That was it for the new moon reading. You'll see me back at the end of October for the full moon reading, for the full moon in Taurus on the 31st of October. And then, of course, I'll be posting the reading per astrology sign for November as well. That will be soon thereafter. In the meanwhile, I'll let you go. I'll see you. Take care, be kind, and look out for yourself. Bye.